So we're going to work from the Kimura position. We're going to work some attacks using the Kimura Trap. So we're going to work on a back take from the Kimura Trap. We're going to work on a triangle. And then a separate way of taking the back from the Kimura when your partner doesn't build up on their side. We're in the Kimura position, so I have a Kimura on Marie, so Kimura grip. My right hand is connected to, say, Marie's left wrist. My pinky kind of covers her hand here, or the line of her wrist. I lock up my Kimura. Couple of details here. What we want to do is we want to be on our side, so we want to be in facing towards our training partner. I'm going to put a wedge behind Marie's shoulder, and then I'm going to kind of lock her head into place by putting the ball of my foot on my knee here. So my knee just drives in towards her head, and then I reinforce this with my elbow. What this does is it just slows Marie down. So if Marie tries to turn into me here, so she tries to turn in, it's not impossible for her to build up, but just kind of slows her down. A really important detail here is I want to make sure that my elbow isn't open, because if my elbow's open, Marie can build up and get her elbow inside. She gets her elbow inside, then we lose this Kimura position. So Marie, if you do that one more time, so if her elbow comes in, we lose the Kimura. So what we want to do is we want to close our elbow in towards our training partner's rib cage. So if Marie tries to build up now, more than likely we're not going to lose that elbow position. The next detail I want to focus on is, if you see that, like say Marie's hand is on the near side here, it's going to be weaker for me. So what I want to do is push her hand through the center line and then above the chest line the best I can. So I have two different types of pressure. I'm pressuring in with the grip, and I'm pulling up with the same grip. So now if Marie tries to build up, this is a lot harder. All right, so eventually she will be able to build up, but it's going to allow me to buy some time to counter here. So when Marie does start to build, so she starts to build up, the first thing I do is I hip escape to make space. I put my shin into this hip pocket here, so you should be able to see my knee through the far side. My right foot goes into Marie's hip. I frame with my right elbow, and I use my right leg to pull Marie over to her right hip. This takes weight off my left leg. I can insert my left hook, and then we switch to a figure 4 seatbelt where we can start attacking from here. So again, I have the ball of my foot on the crease of my knee drives in towards Marie's head. I get my figure 4 grip, my elbow is pressing in towards my knee. So this kind of creates blocks around Marie's head, so it just kind of slows her down a little bit from building up. The two pressures I want is the hand goes across the center and then up towards the line of the chest. I keep my elbow closed because my elbow's open. Marie can pull her elbow inside, and then we lose our Kimura grip. So I'm framing, elbows closed, Marie starts to build up. Once she builds up, I hip escape and put my shin into this hip pocket here. My right leg goes over the hip. I'm framing with my right elbow. I use my right foot to tilt Marie over towards her right hip. Once this happens, it takes weight off my left leg so I can insert my hook. We upgrade then to a figure 4 seatbelt, and then we can start attacking from the back. So we're going to use all the same details as last time, same leg position. So my knee's up nice and high, my elbow's flaring in towards the side of Marie's head, my elbow is tucked. We have the two different types of pressures that we talked about. So hand goes across the center line, and we're looking to pull it up towards the chest line here. All right, so if Marie starts to build up, it's the same movement again. We hip escape, shin goes into the hip pocket, but this time what we do is I'm going to put my right leg over Marie's shoulder to start setting up triangles. All right, so as soon as this happens, my right leg goes over and I bring my heel through her center line here. I pull the hand up towards my chest. I go wrist to wrist and wrist to elbow. I use this then to tilt over to my right side. This takes weight off my left leg. We lock up a loose triangle here, and then what I'm going to look to do now is I'm going to bring my right elbow towards Marie's right shoulder, and what this does is this squares or lines my shin up, say with Marie's shoulder. So that's really important. So if you imagine that I have the lock here, you can see there's space, but when I walk, say, my elbow towards Marie's shoulder, you can see what happens with the shin position here. It squares it up. Then we can lock up our triangle and we can get a good tight finish from here. So we'll just run through that sequence again. So again, we're here, Marie builds up, we hip escape, shin into the hip pocket, right leg goes over and the heel passes the center line. We pull Marie's left hand away from her right hand, we go wrist to wrist and wrist to elbow. We move over to our right side, You have two choices here. You can lock a loose triangle, or you can keep the triangle open and just pinch your knee inwards. All right, so whichever you prefer. Regardless of that, I'm going to walk my right elbow towards Marie's right shoulder, and it gives me the angle I need for my shin. So my shin is roughly parallel to Marie's shoulders. We lock up the triangle, we flex our toes on the bottom leg, and my goal here now, there's different variations of finishing it, but we're just going to bring our knees together, pull the elbow out of the triangle, and we get a good tight finish. So what we don't want is the elbow in the triangle can be a little bit harder to finish it, so we want the elbow up and out of the triangle, and we get rid of this space by pinching our knees together. So we're going to do the exact same one again, we're just going to do it a little bit faster. So Marie builds up, here, shin into the hip pocket, right leg goes over, we strip the grip, wrist to wrist, wrist to elbow, move to our right side. You can go with a loose lock triangle, or you can keep your legs unlocked and pinch your knee in towards your training partner's lat muscle. We walk the elbow towards the shoulder, this gives us the angle or the shin position that we need. We lock up a triangle, we pinch our knees together to get rid of this space to get the top. So the last one we're going to do from here is a back take. This time we're going to do it when our training partner doesn't build up. So they're wise to our attacks from here. So Marie knows if she turns up on our side here, she's exposing her back. So there's another way we can get to the back. And it's a really important technique that we have to have from the Kimura Trap. So same leg position, foot is on the knee, driving the knee inwards, using my elbow to wedge Marie's head into place. I'm using the same details, pushing the hand across the center line and trying to pull up towards the chest line, just to give us better control here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk my legs away here. Once I can't walk anymore, I scissor, and once I scissor, I build to my knees, I frame my right elbow on the side of Marie's head, and I put my forehead on Marie's shoulder. I get up on my toes and I start to walk towards my training partner. Once her back is off the mat, you can see her back is exposed, I'm going to put a wedge underneath Marie's back. So what I do is I drop to my shin, and I put my foot underneath Marie's back. What I do now is I sit Marie back onto my hips, I shift my weight from the center over towards my right leg. This makes my left leg light. I put my heel into her hip pocket and I drive back. I connect my chest to Marie's left shoulder. I fall to my left hip, and to keep the back exposed when I take weight off my right leg, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bump my knee into her shoulder to bring her forward. I throw my second leg in, and then we can unlock our hands, but for me personally, I'd rather keep the hands locked, and then we loop them over the head, where now we can start attacking from the back. So we'll do that one again. So again, Marie's keeping her back flat on the mat. I walk my feet away. Once I can't walk anymore, what I do is I scissor my legs and I frame with my right elbow. So I'm framing on the side of Marie's head, my forehead goes into Marie's shoulder, I'm on my knees, I start to build up onto my toes and I walk forward. Once I walk forward and I get her back off the mat, I'm going to slide my knee behind her shoulder and then my foot slides inside here to keep her back exposed. I'm going to sit back, shift my weight from the center over towards the right side. This makes my left leg light. We put our heel into the hip pocket. I glue the left hand side of my chest to Marie's shoulder blade. I fall to my left side. I bump with my right knee to keep the back exposed. We put in our second hook, loop our figure 4 grip over for a figure 4 seat belt where we're ready to start attacking.